No, you
I hate
click.
every single person on
I'm
the
going
show.
to
Hey,
end the
welcome to the
stream
show,
just so I can click it.
That's justified, Jared.
I hate everybody here, and welcome to the show, everybody who tuned in.
You gotta click it.
It's clicked. We're live. We're live.
You gotta click it.
Before you stick. Okay.
Whoa,
Remember that song? Remember that song?
Easy.
Let's everybody
Easy,
calm
easy.
down and take it down. And
What's going on here?
oh my goodness.
First live stream
Yeah.
2025. You think we know better
2025.
by now?
No, you would not think we know better by now, but it is the first live stream of 2025.
Still hungover from the holiday party.
Man, that was a good one.
Mm-hmm. And the New Year's party, I was still dragging for that New Year's party. 2 parties back to back. Boy,
Delvin had a big night. He came in 3rd place in 80s movie trivia.
that's right. And in fairness, he got one that neither of us got.
Nobody else got.
Nobody
That's right.
else got. I still think that was a plant for Dale. He's like, what one can I give Delvin?
Oh, I just go by the number. Anyways, hey everybody, welcome to Saturday Matinee Theater. Or actually, I should say doing it live, where we're going to record a live episode of Saturday Matinee Theater. Thanks for coming to our first live stream of 2025. As I will probably reiterate at the end of this one, our next live stream will be tomorrow. Delvin and I are talking about, no, I'm sorry, Tuesday. Delvin and I are talking about New Warriors on Tuesday. I'll tell you what, boys, I have a recording tomorrow. I have this live stream, of course. Tuesday, I have a live stream. Wednesday, we're recording our first Crusademas episode for 2025. Thursday, we were
all the pine needles and glitter from 2024.
I know. Thursday, we're recording Action Film Face Off. Friday, I have another recording. I record something from now until Friday. And I want to say hello to Aaron Headmoss, who made his way into the chat. And of course, anybody out there who's watching and hasn't made their way in the chat, say hi in the chat because we are going to give something away at the end of the show to people who say hi in the chat.
Make sure you do it either. We got people on the X. Sign in there and say, get your name, and the YouTubes.
Yeah, say hi.
And the Facebooks. The Book of Face.
Come on in and say hi while we talk a bit about old school Zorro and old school cleaning products today. Delvin has that look like I didn't watch the commercial. Then that's okay because I have it queued up to show the audience today.
I watched the commercial.
Okay, you did the look on your eyes. They got a little bigger when I mentioned the cleaning products. I was like, oh, I don't know if you watched the commercial.
That's Delvin's New Year's resolution.
I watched it. I watched Zorro too. At least I know what was going on in the commercial.
Yeah, right? Wait till I read the summary for today's episode of Zorro.
Lord have mercy.
I've got a summary for you guys today. All right. Speaking of which, I guess we can get into it unless anybody else has got anything for the group, for the viewers. All right.
Yeah, let's get to it.
Let's get to it. As Jared clicks on the wrong word, they're not called Word document. Are they Google Word document? What are they called?
Google Doc.
Google Doc. I clicked on the wrong one, but here's the right one. Okay. Well, then we will get into it. And again, don't forget to say hello in the chat. Oh, Bill Beer's in the chat. Hey, Bill. I was about to say, in fact, I was recording with Bill on Friday, but that's the wrong Bill. I'm recording with Bill Dunleavy on Friday. Don't freak out, Bill Beer. We're not recording on Friday. Me and Bill Dunleavy are recording on Friday. Okay. Let's talk some Zorro. And we will start our live recording in 3 and 2. Hello, no, Sylvia.
Hey yo.
Hey. Now the debate is, do I leave that in or edit it out? Outtakes, even though
2025.
Wait, I don't edit the show. Here we go. 3, 2, and hello and welcome to episode 92 of Saturday Matinee Theater, brought to you by your friends at the Longbox Crusade. We are here in Casa de Vega in our recording studio, set up in one of the many unused rooms in the Vega home. I am your host, Jared Albrecht, the Yard Sale Artist, and joining me, as always, is the Philip to my James. It is Pat Sampson, aka DJ Cristados. Buenos dias, amigo Cristados, y bienvenidos.
De nada. ¿Cómo se llama?
So I said good day and welcome, and you said
De nada,
welcome.
Yep. De nada.
You're welcome.
Feliz Navidad.
And, okay.
And,
sure.
Yep. Buenos dias, buenos noches. Nachos
Rico.
Belgrande to you.
One of you has some Hispanic in him, correct? And it's not Jared.
I'm fully married to one, but somebody here is like 50%.
I got
Back on mute.
But that's a good segue because because we're here, we're back at Casa del Vega. That means we're having some just me and Dave are checking in again. We're coming to check in on, Pat and Dave's come down on them tacos.
I had a feeling.
Having a good time doing that.
I think there's the great graphic.
Yep.
Yes, for those watching. I think the guy who edits the show texted me during his last edit. It was like, if Pat mentions come down on taco one more time.
Oh, get used to it.
Pow, right in the kisser. Pow, right in the kisser. Pow, right in the kisser.
Well, get used to it because that's where we are. That's what we do. We're definitely going to have some good deals going on later on, and I will let you know what those are. But in the meantime, I want you guys to just freeze. Put your hands up. I'm here to save the day. And nobody move.
You're like Ronaldo from the very beginning.
Yes.
I get it. Good job, Pat. Now, also joining us is our enthusiastic butler, the actual Ronaldo of our team, is my brother, Jason, the Weasel Skull Albrecht. How are you today, Jason? Have you had a come down on them taco yet?
Oh, I've had a couple come down on them tacos, and then I've been coming down on that porcelain throne, if you know what I'm saying. But it's worth it. It's worth it. They come back. That's what I'm saying. But get a refund. That's right. It's 2 for the price of 1. So yeah, no, it's been good. I've been keeping busy, a lot of tracking in and out of the house, Zorro running through the mud and everything and tracking in. I got to clean it up. Having trouble with the dishes though. Those dishes, I don't really have time to dry them with the towels. So, I've been letting them air dry and have a little bit of film and spots on them. Any pro tips we have to
we may have something for you coming
All
up.
right, I'll stand by and see if you guys can help me out with some pro tips on how to make those dishes shine.
We have the Longbox Crusade headquarters. All of our shows give you a little something that help you through life. And you know what? It's a little something that's helped me through my life for the past. Oh my gosh, it's been like 30 years. Oh, it gets a little more depressing every time I look at the numbers. Anyway, it is the evil land baron himself, J.A. Marsden, aka Delvin the Dark Web Williams. How's that land grab business going, Delvin?
I'm not sure. I think I did something in this episode.
Unclear.
But I have no idea what. So I'm gonna assume business is good. Let's go with that.
Oh my gosh. It's 2025, Delvin. We did literally meet each other 30 years ago. And that is in no way depressing.
I did the math sometime earlier this year, and it's just like
is it past the point of no return? Like
it was for me years and years ago.
Okay.
It's like, I'm stuck with him.
Well, you want to feel old. My son turns 30 this year. My son turns 30.
That's the end of the episode. Screw all this. I saw some real Jared, since we're on the topic of us being old. It was like somebody was like, look, you can't drink in here. Like, you have to be at least 21 years old. He's like, oh yeah, I was born in 2004. And then the music. You can say where the wind blows. Only time. Like, what?
Oh. Oh man, I think I was going to my third duty location in 2004.
What's going on?
That's enough of that. That's enough. I want to welcome Heinz K to the chat and Auburn Elvis Bowl. Thanks for being here. In the chat, Aaron Moss chimes in and says his oldest son turns 32 in a couple of weeks. How are you not dead, Aaron Moss?
I even saw one more thing is I saw a thing on Facebook or somewhere that it said Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith is 20 years old.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, I think I read that the PlayStation 3 is like 19. Wow. Anyways, Pat, do the show description.
All right. Well, Jared, I'm glad you asked. Let's get even older than what we are right now. I'll just get to the summary. Okay.
Tick tock keeps on slipping into
the future.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and talk about Saturday Matinee Theater and what it is all about. It's a retro review show brought to you by the Longbox Crusade, where we'll be taking you back to the past with some potentially overlooked retro awesomeness in the realm of television, movie serials, or films. Basically, if it's vintage and it's kind of forgotten, we're going to dig it up. That was fine. Okay. On this episode, we will continue our dive into 1937's ZORRO serial. ZORRO Rides Again. 1937's ZORRO serial was produced by Soul C. Siegel. It starred John Carroll as Zorro, Helen Christian as Joyce, Reed Howells as Philip, Duncan Ronaldo as Ronaldo, Noah Beery as J.A. Marston, and Richard Alexander as El Lobo. So grab your 6 shooters, oil your whip, and ride into adventure. But don't forget, ride off singing along to a fun song.
He did sing a song, didn't he?
He did. He did.
It was the song, yes.
Auburn always reminds us in the chat that Zorro is so old he's in the public domain, which is true. The character is in the public domain. Anyone can create a Zorro book, and don't think I haven't been thinking about what kind of crazy crossover I could do with Zorro.
We gotta see who else is in the public domain and do a mashup.
I think Winnie the Pooh just did, so I'm thinking a Zorro Winnie the Pooh team up book might be my next.
Man, there's a lot that just hit.
Oh, bother.
Public domain.
All right. Well, thank you, Pat. And before we hand it over to Delvin for the episode info, which did change a little bit in the script, Delvin, just, look for that curveball. Let's take a look. Delvin's got to come down on a taco in his beard. This is why we can't do these things live. Oh, goodness. Yeah, you got it. He got it. You got it. Yeah, he's got it. Oh my gosh. Why is that too? All right, I gotta get it together. Here we go. What the hell was it? All right, before we hand it over to Delvin for this episode's info, let's take a look, or in this case, a listen to a commercial that would have been playing at the time this episode was released back in 1937. So help us get in the right time frame of mind, if you will, and transport us back into the 30s. For this episode's commercial retro rewind, we have Dreft. And I can attempt to bring that in for the viewing audience. If you give me just one moment.
In case anybody was wondering, it's chicken breast and rice. And I don't really like chicken breast that much. Oh, here we go. Jared's ready.
I am ready. All right, let's see if we can get this. You guys let me know if you can hear it.
Good to go.
Hey, what a pretty park. But there's no time for loping. We're on the way to Mrs. Smith's. Here we are, but it's the back door for us.
No.
We'll find her in the kitchen.
Yeah.
What did I tell you? She's doing her dishes. Look here, Mrs. Smith. Hold on to that towel. Let those darn dishes dry by themselves. 15 minutes later. Gosh, I suppose I should have known. Look at that streaky dishpan film. In the movies, we can take film off this way. But since you haven't Hollywood technique handy, let this smart woman show you another more practical way. She uses Dreft, remarkable new suds improvement. And here's what happens when these dishes have been rinsed and allowed to dry by themselves. See? No trace of scummy dishpan film. They're sparkling clear without polishing. Now, look at those two glasses side by side. You can see the difference yourself. Ask your dealer for Dreft. Remember, you must be completely satisfied or return the box and get double your money back.
All right. Now, the very first time I watched this commercial, and at first he said, we're going to visit Mrs. Smith and we're going to go in the back door. I knew it was going to happen. So we're done with that. Okay.
Just get it out. Just get it out now.
Just get the giggles out.
Okay,
now.
got it.
All right. Because I knew that it would be irresistible to at least one, if not all three of you. So, all that aside, it looks like, I believe, the first person that gets to talk about Dreft is Delvin.
What's up with that logo? Is that like a negligee behind the logo? What is that?
I thought it was like a house apron or something.
It does look like a negligee. Now that you mention it, I still have it on my screen. Yeah, I didn't give it a second thought until you said something just now, and it was still frozen on my screen.
Wait a minute.
Mr. Smith is visiting Mrs. Smith in the back door, so
Jason, I said no.
And Pat was on it too. Jason just overpowered him with the voice. I heard you, Pat. Like God, gentlemen, get your mind out of the gutter while we're live.
While we're live.
When we're not live, you can do what you want. Anyway, I thought that was weird, and then that was weird. The lack of anything fancy with the logo too. It was just like Dreft, and actually the name itself, Dreft. Does it motivate you to do anything? It's just like, ugh.
It's funny you should say that though, because when I pick these commercials, I pick them well in advance of release, well in advance. Mm-hmm. I had this one picked. I probably picked it up, put it on the calendar almost a year ago. And as you guys may remember on our last recording, we met last week to record a Bond. I said, hey, the commercial's for Dreft, and I couldn't remember what it was for. So I think that kind of speaks to your point. Dreft, it's what is the product? It
at least advertised what it was well enough on the commercial itself.
Right. Yeah.
But if sometimes you gotta just be if you are looking for a new product and then you look and it's just Dreft. It's just unless it was Dreft and then the store brand, and that the store brand is kind of ass. And not that good. So you just say, okay, I'll give Dreft a try. That's it.
Well, you're going to be pleasantly surprised when you don't have any streaks on those air dried dishes.
That's true. And maybe
where did they come up? What does Dreft mean? I mean, even is it somebody's name or is it mean something?
All right, somebody start Googling the history of the Dreft company because
I will. I will. And before I do that, I do want to apologize for using the A word when Jared asked us not to talk about the back door.
Pat, go ahead, back to you.
Dreft comes from when people would hang or just drive their cars really fast and then they do a wheelie and it turns.
That's drift. I think what you were thinking. I think Dreft means when you're involuntarily enlisted into the military.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's the Dreft.
No, that's if you leave a window open or a door.
That's also a Dreft.
Oh.
Or I thought it was like a tankard of beer,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's also Draft.
Not a draft. We just don't know.
What is it? I wasn't sure on what it was either. When we did meet and have talked previously, as you were talking about, I thought it was the laundry detergent that's usually used for newborns or people with allergies. It's Dreft. Maybe they moved from this dishes formula.
They probably do both. There's a lot of soap companies that do both.
Yeah, and that's what I remembered the name from, at least. And it
so
was
you knew it. That's neat.
Well, I didn't know it was dish. I thought it was the laundry detergent. Unless she's putting laundry detergent and they're like, this doesn't really work good for dishes anymore.
It probably is the same company making
the same
products.
thing.
Yeah. It's interesting that you had at least a
name.
General
yeah. But I found it interesting. I mean, in my house yet, we don't have a dishwasher. I guess we do. I'll raise my hand. And so, they're like, oh, just leave it for 15 minutes. 15 minutes. Let that stuff sit in that sink for an hour.
Yeah.
The next day until you need something, until you can't find something in your drawers anymore. And then you're like, oh, man, then you got to dig through it because, you put it all in the bottom and it's just like, so if anybody wants to help me out, and I'll start a fund for Pat's, washing.
Come down on them dishes.
Yeah. Come down on them dishes. Yep.
We will help out at the LBC dishes the same way we do Christmas decorations.
Oh, okay. Good. Because things are going to be changing, boys.
Well, Auburn Elvis is helping out by saying synthetic detergents represented an improvement in laundry washing because these synthetic materials are less susceptible to hard water. Dreft has been around since 1933. It was first produced by Procter & Gamble. It was the first synthetic detergent. It's still around today. Like, I looked it up and you can buy it off of Amazon, even though the logo is a little bit nicer and friendlier. But instead of dishwashing, is now advertised to mothers of newborns.
See?
There you go. All right. The final word of Dreft goes to Jason.
Did I hear that right? That you get double your money back if you're not satisfied?
Yeah, I would have ran a scam too.
I would have too. I bought 200 boxes of Dreft and they all stuck. It's like, boy,
I'm gonna need that money back. I'm gonna need double.
That's right. I was like, man, they were really trusting the consumer back then. I think about that today, like how, like customer satisfaction. They're like, screw you, customer. We got your money. It was a different time. It was a simpler time. There was an understanding, I guess, between the consumer and the product. But boy, my ears picked up and I started seeing dollar signs when I heard double my money back if I'm not satisfied. I'm making some money today.
Exactly. I thought, I'm running a scam. Auburn Elvis helps out once again. The chat kind of helps explain the nightgown on the box. He said that his bet is an all-purpose gentle detergent, meaning you can use it in the wash machine or at the sink with the dishes. And, being in the 1930s, I believe that is probably true. Auburn Elvis is on fire when it comes to detergent. Didn't they used to have detergent jokes on South Park? Was it like the chef was always like, these kids always leaving their detergent laying around? That rings to this. Anybody? South Park fans? Nope. All right. Maybe I made it up in my head. Anyway, speaking of things I made up in my head, for 30 years, I've had a pretend friend that I talk to. His name's Delvin. And now that we're in the 1930s mindset, Delvin's going to drop episode info.
I mean, that's a pretty good pretend friend, Jared. Everyone else can see me too. So, chapter 5 was titled Sky Pirates. Pew, 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 pew. Release date. It was estimated release records for this one's kind of been lost to time, but we're going to assume November 13th, 1937. The directors were William Whitney and John English, with writers Frank Adrian, Morgan Cox, Barry Shipman, John Rathmell, and Ronald Davidson. As a reminder, all 12 episodes are available on YouTube. We highly encourage you to watch this episode before proceeding with this podcast, because not only is it just more fun that way, but Jared is about to give a synopsis about this episode, and then we're going to discuss it. There are going to be some spoilers heading your way, I guess, on this episode, if anyone figures out what's going on. But if you haven't watched this episode, we recommend you pause here, go check it out on YouTube, come back to join our discussion. It's about 17 minutes per episode, so it's not that big of a time demand. For those of you who are watching along with us, we love to hear your insights. Don't forget to give your comments on contact@longboxcrusade.com, at Longbox Crusade on X, Facebook, Instagram, or Blue Sky, or leave a voice message at 707-532-5269 at 707-532-LBOX.
Pick up the non-streaky phone.
Pick it up. And with that, let's turn it over to Jared for the episode summary.
Leather.
I was trying to think of a jingle. You got that's good. Lather, lather. That's the way to go. I owe Jason an apology, by the way, because trying to write a synopsis for this, I was like, this is what Jason feels like when he does a Chris Claremont X-Men book.
Now you feel my pain. I'm like, that's a lot of words.
I was like, man, Jason writes the longest synopsis. Now I get it, and I'm sorry. Here we go. This one was a show, folks. Here's your synopsis. When we last saw Zorro, or Zorro, as some people say, he was caught in a trap by El Lobo and his men, some dressed as fake cops. And El Lobo was about to unmask Zorro. Now, luckily, trusty Ronaldo showed up just in time to get the drop on El Lobo. But one of the fake cops makes a break for it. In my notes, I says, with all the stolen land deeds, which I guess he didn't, because I'm going to have to double back on that. I thought he did. This is why this episode's confusing. Let me continue. And Zorro pursues him. After Zorro leaves, more of El Lobo's men arrive to get the drop on Ronaldo, Philip, and Joyce. But the real cops show up to get the drop on the bandits who got the drop on our heroes after they got the drop on El Lobo, who had just gotten the drop on Zorro.
It's a trace buster.
That is actually accurate, and I had to keep up with all that for this synopsis. Meanwhile, Zorro catches up with the fake cop and his accomplice, and both Zorro and his horse proceed to beat them mercilessly until Joyce, Philip, Ronaldo, and the real cop show up. Zorro does some singing and links up with Ronaldo at the Zorro cave, where they listen in on Marsden and Lobo's plan to do some kind of a prison break and get the deeds out by air. I think one of the prisoners, Duncan, is El Lobo's pilot, even though I'm not sure how El Lobo was still holding on to those land deeds. Anyway, somehow he still got him. I think he needs Duncan to fly him out. Anyway, Zorro disguises himself as one of El Lobo's men named Manny in the prison and escapes with the evil gang in the jailbreak. Just as his infiltration is discovered, Zorro manages to steal the plane with Duncan and the deeds on board and taxi it for almost 50 yards before the gang's bullets cause him to crash. By the way, he never goes airborne. There are no pirates. So why it's called Sky Pirates, I don't know. That's it. All that, it was a 17 minutes, I think, something like that. I'm tired now. So I'm going to do some highs and lows with the fellas. We will start with Jason.
So I missed episode 4. And so I went back and watched 4 and 5. And the danger of that is sometimes I bleed when I miss one, I kind of bleed it
right
into this episode. I will say, Jared, I think because I watched 4, I realized that the guy that was dressed as the police officer, who I believe was Duncan,
yes,
was when the one guy says, hey, take the deed to the other guy who rides off, and Duncan, he was supposed to stay behind and ambush Zorro, sharpshoot him off the horse.
Right. Okay.
And that's how he got captured. I won't go back to 4 and ask you, because I thought Zorro got shot, but maybe not, because like the horse fell and he fell
like faked getting shot, I think. Yeah.
So okay, so that part kind of made sense to me. I'm gonna say I'm gonna go setting that up. I'm gonna go with a low, because Sky Pirates. I wanted to see that plane take off. I wanted to see some daring do in the air. I wanted to see how Zorro, who, as far as I know, has never flown a plane in his life, what he intended to do with that plane. Was he just going to taxi it all the way back to the hacienda?
No, he's going to taxi about 50 feet before he crashes into something.
But no, all I get is like almost Sky, almost a pirate. Yeah, so there was a lot of stuff that led up to the almost Sky Pirate stuff. So I feel like I was let down a little bit by the title.
I think when we get to feedback from last episode, which was called Unmasked, I think someone in the feedback might have mentioned something about almost, by the way.
Well, if we're going to talk about the last one, I have questions about, because I thought he got his foot stuck in the train track and how he got out of that. Like
You missed
They
it?
never-
Oh, it was cool. He got the whip, and he whipped the train track handle and yanked it so the track moved, and he was able to save the train in his foot. That was actually a good part. Of
Oh,
last
because when I saw it, it just
Yeah.
it showed him fight, and then it didn't show what happened. It's just the train was rolling by.
I
him.
wonder if you found like an odd copy on the
I
internet.
must have
maybe.
found an odd copy. But at least with the unmasked one, when they left it for this cliffhanger, well, I'll let somebody else speak. Well, I'm carrying on too long.
Okay, yeah. Next up, per my, I always mix up the rotation in case you didn't know behind the scenes on the script, so it's not the same order every time. It's Delvin.
I'm actually glad that some people went first because unlike Jason, I did not go back and look at 4. Even though, like Jason, I was not here last episode for reasons or whatever, and it was just like I was at the gym watching this. I was on like just riding on the bike and then just did a little treadmill walk, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, what is going on? Like it wasn't. I don't need something that like is so bare bones that I just, that anyone could get it, that a simpleton could get it. But I do need it so that it's like it was black and white. And maybe it was just the copy was a little bit difficult to see. And then I saw a whole bunch of costume changes, a lot of costume changes. And it was just like, after a certain fashion, I didn't know what was going on. I too thought that Zorro, he was shot at and it looked like he was hit and fell off the horse and then just immediately gets up and starts moving again. And it's like you can't, he could not have known he was being shot at. Not riding a horse. He wouldn't have known he was being shot at. He was focused on, getting away, and then he got shot, but then,
I thought he got shot too, but then he hopped up, didn't seem to have any
Right.
wounds. I think he literally went singing afterwards. I'm like, I guess.
Yeah, he did. They did a ballad, while he was riding. I haven't been as impressed at the Zorro episodes as I wanted to be, but like Pat's been here for more, so maybe Pat has a little bit something more happy and delightful to say.
All right, let's find out, Pat.
Well, this one was a little bit different. I felt like it was like 2 episodes in one, right? You had the beginning of the unmasking, like you said, what should have been called unmasking or what, you know what I mean? I think they got the titles like jobbily up here. Because I would have put the Sky Pirates like in that one episode with the plane when it was, trying to get the train or something,
That was called Sky something, though, I think.
It might have been, I don't know.
Yeah, it had some kind of Sky name, but
yeah. I don't
remember airplanes in 1937 were especially cool.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So, and then I just felt like this was weird. You had that beginning, then you had like the ending, and I'm like, oh, is this end already? Because he's kind of just singing, and he's like, hey, I'm proud of myself. I got a song. I'm gonna sing. I'm singing. I'm singing in the desert, and I'm having fun. And so then it goes into, kind of the other story of what happens, with, hey, you got to get the plans. You got to get them back to Marston now. And the only way to do that is get it on a plane and go from there. And so this guy's he's got a pilot's license, or I guess, I suppose back then you probably didn't need a license. You just need to know how to operate a plane. And I don't think he knows how to operate a plane. Because he, maybe knows how to operate it to crash or whatever. But so much going on in this one.
He can operate it for up to 50 yards on
And he's like, I don't know what to do. I don't know. Do I push it down or up? Or, if I push up, does I go up? It's like one of those backwards things when you're playing a game. It's like up is down and down is up when you're playing the game. It's like,
Pat, all you need to remember is you're either on the plane or off the plane.
Off the plane, yeah.
Or you're being burned alive inside the plane.
Sometimes you just gotta fly a MFer into a cliff.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess. Well, this is we're going to go into round 2, And I just Delvin said something that kind of got me thinking about sort of the serial overall and the serials that we've done, which is what been this and Batman and Flash. Is that all the serials we've done? I feel like
Sherlock Holmes.
Well, that was a show, not a serial, but yeah, I tried.
Got you.
That's
Got
more
you.
content we did.
Yeah, Flash.
Flash is still the king of these things, if you ask me. I feel like Zorro's a little better. The entire time, I felt like Zorro's been a little better than Batman. Of course, we had some preconceived notions of Batman, but I feel like this one's been a little better. But this episode in particular was a little rough. But maybe we'll find some. I know I have at least one high point from it, but let me get through you guys for it, and that goes back to Jason.
Well, I mean, I've got a couple high points, but I'll focus on the character of Philip. I'm starting to like him a little bit more too, and I particularly like his polite disdain, shall we say, by Zorro's alter ego. You know, and that scene when I hope it was in this one.
It was where he was quote unquote Bruce Wayne in it.
he was Bruce Wayne in it big time, man. He just was laid out, guys. He came in off of that ride, off that fight. You know, he had to be bruised up. You know, he had to be sore as hell, and he just sits down and
possibly shot.
Possibly, we don't know. Maybe shot, and he sits down and he's reading that book. And the reason why I like it is because Phil does a lot of show don't tell, right? Like, you know, he kind of comes in and he's like, "Where were you?" curtly, you know, but he doesn't like just go off. You can tell he's holding back. He's trying to be nice. He's trying to be polite, but the look he's giving them is just like, "You worthless." It's like certain podcasters give us when we do the game.
I know who you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? I know right where you're heading with that.
So, you can tell it's polite, but it's there.
I really enjoy listening to your show. It's so good.
Yes. It's often good to hear novices speak.
I like how we both do a German or a Russian. I don't know what that accent was.
I thought it was Donnie Z. I thought you guys were doing Donnie.
It was.
I get it.
We still love him. Well, Delvin's good at guessing. Let's see what he's got good for Zorro. Maybe he doesn't have a good for Zorro. We're gonna find out.
It's sort of about Zorro. In that, I will give credit to the main actor. I'm glad Jason mentioned him, because I did think that was a particularly good part where he comes out of the big Zorro, basically out of his cave, and then he has to play the role. But what it started getting me thinking about is, I remember, at this point, it's been 20, 25 years ago or whatever, that maybe I shouldn't credit Bendis with it, but Bendis was the first the guy that they let start writing mainstream. And he started getting a little bit fuzzy with the secret identity thing, because he was like, this is dumb. What's the use of having a secret identity? Or and clearly the obvious point of having the secret identity is the entire world doesn't need to know these things that I'm doing, because it could visit hell upon my actual civilian life. Right. I get it. There is no reason that Zorro doesn't have to tell his folks. None. Zero. Absolutely none. And he should absolutely take the mask off hey, I'm Zorro. I have to play this role in front of everyone else, but you are my family that you're relying on. So I have no reason other than it amuses me to do so, to dupe you into thinking that I am this worthless dilettante that's just sitting around being rich.
Yeah, having Philip and Joyce in on it would probably be helpful in the same way it is with Ronaldo.
Right.
That's a really good point.
I think it would be funnier to have Joyce in on it, and then she starts duping Philip and just
everybody. It's just a big gaslighting of Philip. Everybody knows what Philip. Oh, all right, Delvin. That's you.
That's me.
That's all right then. I guess I got to do what I got to do, which is let Pat bring it on home.
All right. Well, I'll do some good stuff here. And I thought at least some of the good stuff here was a lot of the action, right? There was some really good action parts.
It's close to my high point of the episode. So keep going.
Okay. All right. So, there was good action in the beginning, a good song, a fun song in the middle. It just made me smile, at least the song. And I'm like, oh, okay, so he's singing and just having a fun time.
He's writing songs about how cool he is.
Yeah.
Whose house?
As one would
Zorro's
do.
house.
Yes, as one would do. Of course. As you're strolling back home to the pad, yeah. Who's a cool guy? I'm a cool guy. Who wants to join me to be two cool guys? That would be my song. It'd be called Cool Guys, But there's a lot of fun stuff like that. And then we saw a lot of tropes going on with disguises. He puts on the disguises, and you got to have that. And I think in every serial that we've done, even Flash put on like a disguise at one time or something like that, trying to fool people. Always fun to see. And the Delvin mentioned the painting, the secret door painting was another fun, just novelty to see. That gave me a smile.
Absolutely. You did not specifically hit my favorite thing about it, and that is when the horse actually got in on the fisticuffs and beat up a dude.
That was fantastic. You got El Raid, son.
I was like, that was my favorite part of the episode.
Catch these hooves, son.
There was two guys. One had to fight Zorro. The other had to fight the horse.
I don't know. Yeah, would you want the whip?
I would go up against Zorro all day.
Right. It's like 1, 2, 3. I got the human.
Horse is just standing there looking mean at you, like, oh man. So yeah, that was hilarious. Albert Elvis asked in the chat, do you think the Zorro serial clears the "we could have made this with the collected money we had in our wallets" bar? I'm not sure Batman cleared that. I don't know how I feel about the budget yet. I mean, they did a lot of it made it look like a lot with a lot of horses and a lot of location shooting.
And see, that's what I mentioned. I said horses were involved, and horses ain't cheap. Like, even if you're renting a horse, like whoever is, whatever ranch you're renting that from, that dude has to think about land and whether or not that horse is going to get endangered and the money it takes to freaking feed the horse and all that, et cetera, et cetera. So if it's got a horse in it, there's no way it could be cheap.
Well, it was 1937. I mean, the only disclaimer they have, we don't give a crap what happened to the animals in the shooting of this film.
I'll remind everybody that disclaimer started in Never Say Never Again.
Exactly. Yes, which I have questions about with you, Jared, but we'll ask it another time.
That's more of a Bond show. All right. With all of our rounds done on this rather befuddling episode, it is time to get in fun facts with Jared. On this episode, I decided to look at Noah Beery, who plays the mastermind criminal behind all this, J.A. Marsden. He had a very successful career. He started out as a singer and actor from vaudeville, and he actually recorded a couple of hit records. He sold quite a few records. Apparently had a very smooth voice. They noticed even from when he was in high school age that everyone really liked his voice, and that kind of carried him into a career into music, vaudeville, and then into theater. His brother Beery, his brother Wallace Beery was even more successful as an actor. He won an Academy Award, and for a while he was the highest paid actor in Hollywood. In fact, his contract said the amount he makes is always whatever the highest amount is plus $1. That is literally in his brother's contract. So he would always be the highest paid actor in Hollywood while he was acting. So yeah, Wallace Beery won an Academy Award. That's the brother of the guy playing J.A. Marsden, who was also successful himself. And our guy Noah Beery, the guy playing J.A. Marsden, is the father of Noah Beery Jr., who also had a very successful film career. It goes all the way back to starting in the late 30s, 40s. In fact, I think on the credits as Noah Beery, our Noah Beery gets older and older, he changes his name on credits to Noah Beery Sr. because now his son is also acting as well. And we would know the son if you were a big fan of the Rockford Files, he played Jim Rockford's dad on the Rockford Files. So I knew Jason couldn't resist. So yeah, the whole Beery family is sort of this wildly successful Hollywood story with Brother Wallace being the most successful, but Noah Sr. and Jr. both did very well for themselves. And just as a fun side note, in 1920, which was, I don't know, 17 years before the serial came out, Noah Beery was in a movie called The Mark of Zorro. So this is not his first go around in the Zorro film world. So yeah, interesting thing, the whole Beery family, as I dug into that. And with that, we are going to get into into the California Yucatan mailbag, brought to you by the railroad that may or may not get completed.
We haven't rated it yet.
Oh, I skipped the rating. I pulled a Pat.
You did.
Okay.
I don't know. I didn't know what to say there.
No, what is the one? There's one thing we always skip on G.I. Joe. It's like the Silver Star Medal.
Oh,
something.
yeah.
We always miss one. Anyway, back it up. Let's do Whip Snap ratings. It's time to rate it 1 to 5. 5 Whip Snaps means you loved it. 4 means it was very good. 3, it was good. 2, it was just okay. And 1, I didn't like it. I feel like our Whip Snap ratings are going to be a little low on this one, fellas. We'll start with Pat.
Ooh, put me on the spot here. Ooh.
Yeah.
You know,
I just listened to last episode, and you, and Kathy, and I think we all gave it a 4. We all liked it.
Yeah, we all liked it.
That's at your barometer.
Yeah, it doesn't. I guess for this one, I'm going to go with a 2. I thought it was just okay. You know, I was confused like everybody else. It'd be a high 2. You know,
no, understand.
Because of the action. I like the action, and yeah, seeing that horse just, you know, get all up on that guy's business, man.
No, I understand, because I think it was you who said something earlier about how it felt disjointed. It almost feels like they filmed the whole serial and then they decided to chop it up, and they just couldn't figure out where to
chop it up. Yeah, definitely.
It's the feeling it had. So you started us at a 2. I don't think we're gonna get much of a bump up from Delvin, but let's find out.
I was willing to give it the most mailed in, unenthusiastic 3. Like it would have been like, but you know, since Pat set the bar relatively low there at 2, there will at least be 2 cool guys that also give it a 2. Like at least like what I need from a serial is I thought that they had done a pretty good job, I guess, of explaining what was going on. But like, you can't lose me in 16 minutes. Like, and then if you cut like the preview, you can't lose me in like 14 and a half minutes. It's like, and they lost me. It was like, I was like, it got to the point where like, there's this line, I think it was from 40-Year-Old Virgin, where like, some guy was saying something to, I think it was Kevin Hart's character. And Kevin Hart was like, I didn't understand what you said, so I'm going to take it as disrespect. Like, I felt like that. It was almost like I watched it for like 50. It's like, what is going on? I don't get this. I'm angry. So, like, that's where I wound up with it. So, I'm like, I'm not off the plane of Zorro, but like, give me something else. Something's got to pick up for me, you know?
I understand. I mean, 2 is just okay. And I think that's fair for this. But, let's see how Jason felt.
I'll mail it in and give it a 3. And I think a lot of that is because I watched 4 and 5 together. And so I think some of 4 probably bled over into 5 for me. So if I'd watched just 5, and especially if I'd missed 4 and just watched 5, I'd probably be there with a 2 as well. But there's a lot that I still liked about it. I think the plot is still good. Like I said, I like the character interaction between Philip and Zorro. I liked the villain of Marsden. I like kind of the chess game that they're playing. But yeah, I think, Jared, I think you nailed it. I think that it felt like they weren't quite sure how to break this one up. It felt a little disjointed. Still enough in there for me to hold on to a 3 for it.
I completely understand. Welcome Jim Meal to the chat. Jim says these ratings are almost at the Three Amigos level. I don't know what that means, but I kind of like it. I'm going to take it as disrespect, though. I could go for the high 2 or the low 3. I'll go on the 2 just so I get it past the Cool Guy Island, I guess.
Ooh, cool guy. Three amigos, 3 cool amigos.
Being the guy who wrote the summary for it was just like, it was a lot of watch for 2 minutes, pause, write 4 sentences, watch for 2 minutes, pause, write 4 sentences. Like, oh my goodness, like this is the beginning when it was like, oh, he's about to be unmasked, but because Lobo got the drop on him, but Ronaldo got the drop on him, but the fake cops guys got the drop on him, but then the real cops guys got just like, come on, man. Oh, anyway, yeah, we'll go 2s and 3s on this one, and I think that's pretty fair. Now over to the California Yucatan Railroad mailbag. We are thrilled to kick off these comments with special shout outs to Crusaders Club members. These are the fine folks that have joined our crusade to get early access to special long box episodes. They get to vote on show content, free raffle prizes, so much more. Excuse me, I'll tell you. Free raffle entries and so much more. So these are the folks reaping the benefits and giving some much appreciated support to the show. Clockwise, Jason.
Alan W. Wright.
Angelica Wolf.
Oberon Elvis in the chat.
Bill Beer, also in the chat.
Billy D.
Bradley Dello.
Braxton Underwood.
Carrie.
Clayton Robinson.
Captain Entropy.
Clark Westfield.
Dave Collins, Bat Battle Wagon.
Eric Hodges.
Eric Porter.
Ezra Gallo.
Gary V.
Gene Hendricks.
George Meal.
Gerald Green.
Heinz K. Saw him in the chat.
Jason Keene.
Jason Lady.
Jeff Polier.
Jeremy L.
Jim Jarman, Jim Jarman, Jim Jarman, Jim Jarman. I hope you like Jim Jarman too.
And while I do, he's not in the pat. Not in the pat. He's not in the chat. Jim Meal is, though.
And Joe Man Conan.
Joe Thomas.
John Watson.
Josh Strickland.
Candace Ward.
Captivating Kathy Bright, the immest of viest of piest. She's in the chat.
It's 2 for 1. Matt and Lissy Paso.
Mark Ross.
Maxwell Traver.
Michael Minton.
Miranda W.
P.D. Devins.
Paul Hicks.
It's my buddy Rick from Jeff and Rick Present.
Easter Day. All my troubles seem so far away. I gotta thank Ronald Easter Day.
Who at no extra charge, Jason sang a song. This is the bonus you get from being a club member.
Rob Morgan.
Samantha Maney.
Sean Urbanski.
Spidey 67.
Spreadsheet.
Steve Cronin.
Tim Price.
Tony Pennington.
And Toronto Cop.
If we missed anyone on our list, we apologize. Keep in mind we record these episodes well in advance of release. If you're a recent edition, we'll add you soon, but no worries. Let us know we missed you by sending an email to contact@longboxcrusade.com. We'll get it straightened out. If you're asking yourself, how do I become a Crusaders Club member? Just go on over to patreon.com/longboxcrusade for as little as $1 a month. You get access to the amazing world of Crusaders Club, and we'd love for you to check it out. And if you don't have any extra scratch laying around, but you still want to help us out here at LBC headquarters, We'd love for you to write a review wherever you're listening to this podcast, write a comment, give us a thumbs up, star ratings, all that stuff helps raise the profile of the show. And we love to share any reviews that you might write on an upcoming episode. All right, we are getting into the shares and retweets and all that stuff from our last Zorro episode, which was Chapter 4, Unmasked, which was Pat coming in off of an old school AM radio because his fiber line was cut, and Kathy stepped in for Delvin and Jason. But hey, you know how we almost always get 2 shares for this show?
Yeah,
we doubled it, boys. We got 4 shares for the show.
4 cool shares.
Whoa.
We'll do the same order. Start with Jason.
Well, one was Kathy Bright.
Yeah, she helped share the episode that she was on, which is always appreciated.
Very much so. Thank you. And thanks for stepping in for me, Kathy.
Dave Collins, the Battle Van. Oh, I'll say it right for one time. Yeah, I and he's probably he's featured. He's been featured in the past several, with Pat and Dave's Come Down on Them Tacos.
Yes. Yep.
All right. So, he had to reshare too.
Our next one is Bill from the Bat Pod. Thank you, Bill, for sharing.
And I'll bring it home with another extended family member of LBC. It is Jim Meal. Thanks for sharing, Jim, even though it had nothing to do with G.I. Joe. Actually, Pat, if Zorro was a G.I. Joe figure, I think he would match most closely with what's that? The guy, the Headman, I think is his name. He wears the hat. He's got the Zorro style mask.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, the Headman.
Watch out for the Headman.
Watch out for the Headman.
And I think since Jason brought this up earlier, he deserves to read the lone comment that we got on social media for the Unmasked episode. Jason, would you read the comment, sir?
I'm going to assume this is from Gene Hendrix's dad because it's from Eugene Hendrix here. So that's a very dapper name there. So Eugene says, I feel cheated. The title should have been Almost Unmasked.
I agree. And I like the way that his X account, it cut off so many characters. It says Eugene R. Hendrix, voice actor / homestead. I don't know what the rest of it is, but he's a homestead.
So that's a homestead. Yeah. I too am a homestead, Gene.
Uh-oh. We got some comments in here from Aaron. What's Aaron saying? So you're saying we could save money by canning Jason and the Dark Web and replace him with Kathy? Yeah, our budget guys are looking into it.
Yeah, I don't know how much money you're saving.
That's part of our appeal. We come very cheaply. Yeah,
we do. It's almost like we work for free.
Delvin's got t-shirts. That's about it. I don't even begrudge him that. Anyways, if you want to be like Gene and leave a comment, we would love for you to do that. And one of the most fun ways to do that is via our voicemail. Delvin mentioned it earlier, 707-532-5269. Leave us a voicemail. We'd love to play it on the show. Give us your thoughts on the Zorro cereal, Zorro in general, draft. We'd love to hear it. 707-532-5269, 707-532-LBOX.
Pick up the phone.
Lather.
Thought we were going to get away with one. Over to Jason.
I was waiting for the lather there. That's it for this episode of Saturday Matinee Theater. If you'd like to hear more from us in the realm of comic books, action films, and more, check us out on the Longbox Crusade. Pat, where can they find that?
Well, Jason, I am glad you asked. You can find the Longbox Crusade on Spotify, Amazon Audible, pretty much all those podcatchers out there. Just go ahead and look up longboxcrusade.com. We're also on the YouTube as well, or go to www.longboxcrusade.com and you can find us there. You can find us also on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and as I mentioned before, YouTube. For those of you that like to watch us live stream, go ahead and come out there and YouTube at Longbox Crusade and find us, like us, and share us. Back to you, Jason.
Thank you, Pat. And if you want to hear us on our trek through all things James Bond, you can check us out on Her Majesty's Secret Podcast. Jared, where can that be found?
Well, Jason, I'm glad you asked. Our most recent recording was just last week. We covered 3 more of the trailers, the original trailers for Octopussy, View to a Kill, and The Living Daylights. It was a fun discussion. So for those of you watching live, that'll be coming out in a couple of weeks. I already have it edited, but I spaced them out, so a couple of weeks. Anyways, that's what's been going on over at James Bond. And if you want to know more about that, you can check us out at Podbean. But pretty much all your podcatchers out there on Her Majesty's Secret Podcast. If it's not on your podcatcher, let us know, and we'll forward that to our founder, Van Plexico, and see what he can do about it. But until then, you can always go directly to www.secretpodcast.podbean.com, or you can chat with us on Twitter at OHMSPod.
Thank you, Jared. And if you'd like to chat with us online, we can be found at Pat. Go ahead and kick us off.
Well, Jason, I'm glad you asked. Of course, we are here in Zorro. We're in Casa del Vega. And so coming down, as I mentioned earlier, me and Dave are here. We're checking out our restaurant, which is called Come Down on Them Tacos. Pat and Dave's Come Down on Them Tacos. So make sure you come out to Pat and Dave's Come On Down Tacos. Our special while we are here and while you're listening is 50% off the waffle taco. Waffle taco. In case you're wondering what that is. Well, it's a warm waffle filled with breakfast sausage, bacon, and scrambled eggs just for that morning rush. As you're trying to get onto that plane, you come on down to Pat and Dave's Come Down on Tacos and get that waffle taco.
Do not get on that plane. Just not getting off the taxiway. Does sound delicious, though.
All right, Pat. I don't know how much of that's going to make it in, but
it'll make it all in. Otherwise, you can find me on the X at Christato01. Delvin?
Okay.
You can find me on what am I on now? Blue Sky DEERAY 1977 and Instagram and Threads. Delvin Ray. Jason.
Well, you can find me on nothing at all. If you want to get a hold of me, go ahead and leave a number at that at our Longbox number, or get a hold of Jared or somebody, and we'll get in touch with me. Jared, where can they find you?
You know, I had to provide the same service for Dave Collins for the longest time. Anyway, I am at Yard Sale Artist on X, Facebook, and Instagram. It's all at Yard Sale Artist.
All right. Well, get your quiver filled with arrows and get ready to fight against taxation without representation, because our next episode will continue our journey through the 1955 adventures of Robin Hood, the TV series. We'll see you next episode for episode 12. The Highlander? What? Connor McLeod is going to be in this episode?
I can only hope.
I can't wait. The meetup location, Sherwood Forest.
And we are out on our live recording. Thank you for joining us, folks. Just thought about Jason completely getting off social media and just realized how much spare time he's going to have now, and I am jealous of him.
Oh, man. It's pretty. It's not bad. It's not as hard as I thought it was going to be.
Imagine you get so much done.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and I'm not sending you all those.
Oh, well, that's the sad part now. I'm like, I find funny things. I'm like, oh, Jason's not here.
They were good for finding funny things, but man, this is like.
Anyways, let's do some raffles, I suppose, and then I'll give you guys, since you joined us live, the rundown of what's coming up on LBC, and then we'll go. I do have raffle prizes set out. We didn't have Courtney join us today, did we? So let's count on Kathy today. Kathy will fill in for Courtney, I am certain. For Saturday Matinee Theater today, I got something kind of cool for you, especially if you like physical media out there. I found this recently, and this is a nice shape too. So for someone in the chat is going to win the Flash Gordon cereal on DVD.
Ooh,
it's nice in the old snapper case, and it's
nice.
It's really nice. It's like a really clean copy. I'm kind of jealous, but yeah, Flash Gordon cereal on DVD for what number does Kathy need to pick from, Delvin?
I got 7 people. Did I miss anyone? Aaron Head Moss, Bill Beer, Heinz K, Auburn Elvis, Jim Neal, Kathy, MVP, and Doc Strange.
You said Bill?
Yeah, Aaron, I did. Bill Beer, yes.
Yeah, okay.
And Aaron logging in on G.I. Joe, a Real American Headcast does not count.
I think he's trying to get in twice. It's clever.
I saw what he was doing. He was double dipping, Jared.
Yeah,
he dipped once.
And then
he dipped
again.
You take one dip and you end it. Kathy says 5.
5.
Well, how about that? I picked one at random, or excuse me, I picked a spot at random, went 5 down, and the answer is Kathy Bright.
Kathy.
Wow, look at that.
She's doing dip jokes in the chat too. I put my hand up on your head.
I dip, you dip.
We dip.
All right. So Kathy pulled her own number, which I think Courtney's done in the past too. So there's no shame in that.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as our Crusaders Club members go, Kathy, we are still at 50. We'd love someone to join and be our 51st, but Kathy,
51.
Oh, Courtney just came on.
Oh, we missed Courtney. Oh, man, that's all. Well, thanks for being here, Courtney. Thanks for catching us here at the end. All right. I am pulling up the list of 50, and Kathy picked a number, but I've already forgotten what it is.
24.
24. Okay. It's not bad. It's not bad. All right. I started at a random spot, and now I'm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Got to scroll back to the list. Top 1, 2, 3, 4. Joe Man Conan. In honor of Saturday Matinee Theater, you get Adventures of Sherlock Holmes hardback.
Oh, nice.
Pretty neat.
Man.
It's from the library. It still has a library label on it. I hope you don't mind, Joe Man Conan. And although we did cover the Batman serial, I don't have that on DVD, but I do have some Batman for you. I have a Batman and Batman Returns DVD, which is kind of nice.
Nice.
So that will go to Joe Man. And you know I need to write these things down because otherwise I will be texting the group in about 3 days going, now who won the... All right. So that's
Kathy and Joe Man Conan.
Cool. Joe Man Conan. I actually have sticky notes here because of this that I get and I stick them to things. All right. And Kathy will probably get a hand delivered because I'm going to be in Birmingham in a couple of weeks on my way to Kentucky, and I'm planning on having dinner with my friend Grant Potts, and Kathy, I think, is going to join us. So, boom. Kathy, not only will you win this, but I've been talking to Van Plexico, and you may be getting all of his boxes of stuff to take to him for Dragon Con. She didn't know that part until just now.
Ooh.
We talked about that last night because I'm still 50-50 on Dragon Con.
Extra stuff.
And he's like, well, how am I going to get my stuff that you've got? And I was like, well, you better start buttering up Kathy. So we'll see. Anyways. What else? Oh, I promised, fellas, I'd give these guys an update on what we've got coming up.
Got a lot coming up in the year. You know, it's a brand new year here for us.
It is.
New year, new us.
New year, new.
We've already done the James Bond recording last week. That'll be coming out soon. I was on vacation, so we didn't have a best under 5 this month, but I'm certain we'll do one unless something weird happens on the first. Well, nope, I lied. Stay tuned. We may do one on the 26th, which normally do on the first Sunday of the month, but I got a recording scheduled, a Bond recording with Alan on the first Sunday in February. So I may just do a best under 5 on the 26th. And I know, Pat, you watched the movie that we're going to do. We're talking about Blair Witch 2.
Mm-hmm.
So look, if Pat's available, and then if not, then maybe Black Belt Chris will be back.
Chris will be back. Yeah,
I will try to set something, or maybe all 3 of us can be there. It'd be wonderful.
Yeah, it might be fun.
So look for that on the 26th. I'll pencil that in. That's something I'm kind of doing on the fly. But yeah, we want to talk about Blair Witch 2 on our Best Under 5 live stream. And for those of you who don't know, our Best Under 5 is a movie that we pick or someone from our watching audience picks that has a 4.9 or lower on IMDb that we think maybe should, at least deserve to be looked at. So Blair Witch 2, and I have rewatched it. And spoiler alert, I think it's better than a 5. It's just me. Anyways,
I watched
Tuesday.
it. I don't remember anything about it.
Tuesday, Delvin and I will be back with Come Out to Play 47. So if you want to prep for that, read issue 47 of New Warriors.
The time and time again storyline begins now.
Return of the Pharaoh, if I remember correctly.
Sphinx.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sphinx.
Return
Wrong.
of the Sphinx.
Once again.
Oh my God.
Oh, my Sphinx.
On Wednesday, we're going to be recording our first episode of Crusaders for 2025. I'll even spoil a little bit and tell you guys that our friend Aaron Moss is going to be coming. I'm sorry, Aaron in the chat's like, what? The other Aaron.
Aaron's going to be on, but then he's going to be also trumped by Aaron, the other Aaron. So
Aaron,
typical
Aaron Bossing. I'm sorry, Aaron Bossing from the Hungry Trilobite podcast is going to be stopping by. I won't tell you what he's going to bring, but last time he was on, he brought Superboy, and it was a fun episode.
That was a good one.
Yeah, and then Jason, Delvin, and I are going to be recording on the 16th on Thursday, Action Film Face Off, our 77th episode.
Mm-hmm. It's
That
gonna
is
be dynamite.
Yeah, it will be dynamite, right? Lots of firepower will be involved.
Lots of fire.
And then looking at the calendar next week on the 22nd, we will be recording our 50th Longbox Crusade, but it might get released as like in the later 40s, because remember that's when we're trying to sync up for what is it, there's a JS April,
JS May,
JS April this year, so it might not get the 50th. It's weird, but
it may. Check my schedule.
Check your
I
schedule.
have a release schedule.
It'll come out in April. Whether or not it'll be episode 50 is the question. But yeah, we're going to record. It'll be our 50th record of the actual Longbox Crusade show. So that's pretty exciting.
Do they know?
And to round it out,
April.
to round it all out, at the end of the month, we're going to be recording our GI Joes. We're going to be doing America's Elite 8 and Special Missions 8. I think that's everything for the month.
Yeah, we already did Transformers Chronicles.
Transformers Chronicles.
55's going to be coming out this month, and we got 56 recorded. So
I think I made the thumbnail for 55 yesterday.
Yeah,
awesome.
you did.
Heck yeah. So things are moving along.
Got a lot of stuff going on. Yeah, we're getting back in the swing.
Lots of irons in the fire.
Yep.
It's gonna be fun.
Indeed. All right, Pat, I'm gonna let you close it out with any final thoughts. I've done all the business.
What do I guess? We appreciate any sharing that you could do for us, especially on all the medias that are out there. If you haven't subscribed to us on YouTube, go ahead, get us. I can't remember what we're at right now, but
356 is what jumps to mind. I think we're at 356.
I think you're right.
Help us get on the road to 400. Let's get to 400, and you want to be a part of it. Make sure you're liking and subscribing. Help us grow this channel more. We would really appreciate it. Don't forget to get on the Patreon. Lots of stuff, good stuff on the Patreon going on too. And as you can see, we just give away stuff. We give away stuff, and all you got to do is just get on the Patreon, or watch us live. Lots of fun, good stuff happening here.
What you got? You got to get it on the Patreon.
Yeah, we're so excited that you guys have joined us. We're coming up on year 9. Year 9 of the Longbox Crusade. So appreciate all that everybody has done, and possibly some more stuff coming down the pipeline as well too. Some new additions. Ronnie, Ricky, and Mike.
If I like the new podcast, who cares what you like?
New editions, yeah. Where we just go over new edition songs. But yeah, Delvin's got his song. Little.
I heard it over on Patreon. Yeah,
on Patreon. So stuff that people haven't heard. There's a lot of iFinishes out there for people to watch too that haven't gotten flipped over yet. So there's some good stuff out on the Patreon.
I'm probably going to record a new. I finished it as soon as we're done here.
You know what? I need to do. I heard it. I mean, even though I still got a couple in the tank, I need to get one more.
Yeah, there you go.
Plus, Pat and I have been deleting them out of the shares.
Oh yeah, that's good. I know it takes up bandwidth.
Yep.
No, we've been deleting the new ones that you've.
Oh, lots of fun. With that, I think we'll call it a day. Thank you all for joining us for this first recording of. What number was this one?
Oh, this was. Please hold. I've got it right here at the script. This was 92.
So we're gonna hit
92.
We're on target to hit 100 SMTs this year.
Wow. Well, 100 SM. No, but what doing it live is it?
Oh, doing it live? We stopped numbing them a long time ago.
I don't know. I thought we've been doing it for quite a long time.
Yeah, we used to number them, but we're shortening up the titles on YouTube, so we dropped the number of the doing it live. But it's at least 12, Pat.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see you next time in another month for episode 13 of Doing It Live.
Next month's Doing It Live is going to be a little bit of a departure. Auburn Elves is going to come back. We're going to do a Marvel RPG. Each one of us is going to be a member of New Warriors. And we're going to do a live New Warriors RPG. We did that about 2 years ago, I think, with Auburn Elvis.
That was a lot of fun, like a bank robbery or something.
Yeah, we were like Spider-Man characters.
I want to be Knight's Fire. And my thing is like I'll be Knight's Fire, and then when I show up, every time I show up, I do a spritz. And that gives me some extra power.
I think I told him about Midnight's Fire, but he said in this context of his story, it would only work if somebody else was like Silhouette. We didn't have a Silhouette, so I'm not sure who you are. I think I'm Nova. I think Delvin's Night Thrasher, and Jason picks Speedball, which is highly appropriate. Yeah. And Pat, I think I just told Auburn Elvis to pick for you. So
Pat's a Marvel boy.
Is he a Marvel boy?
I'm a Marvel boy. Okay.
He's going to show up on Captain America's front doorstep to prove how cool he is. That was like issue 1, I think.
Issue 1. Mm-hmm.
Was Cap literally in his bathrobe, or is that just a memory from
I can't remember.
I feel like he had a coffee mug in the bathroom. All right. Auburn Elf says you will be Marvel boy.
Oh, okay, cool.
Get your
I'll have to do some studying up. I got to do some studying up. Yeah.
Get those mental powers flexed up. Anyway, you're closing this out. I'm going back on mute.
Okay. All right. Well, with that, we thank again everybody for watching us out on the Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, or wherever you watch it. Make sure you do like and subscribe to wherever you are watching us. We do appreciate it. And put some comments out there. Let's get talky. Talk with us.
Yeah, even if the comment is the show sucks, it's still a comment.
We'll like it. Thank you for your comment. We appreciate you stopping by. But go ahead, help us out with that. That'd be really, really appreciated. And we would like to get in some conversations with you guys. What's your thoughts on ZORRO? Put them in the comments below. We want to know your thoughts. Put them in below. And what do you think is going to happen in the next ZORRO episode? We want to know. How do you think he's going to get out of this? Let us know. Let's get in that conversation and have some fun. So until then,
he got out of it by flying through the front windshield after the.
It'd be great if the next one he goes flying through is like his crumpled body, and then the credits roll. And that's the end of the series.
I thought it was a 12 episode. Anyway, down to 6. All right. Well, with that, we will see you all again next month, or see you in a few days listening to the next episode on the podcast. Until then, everybody, take care. Have a safe night, I guess, or travels, or whatever you're doing. Thank you for watching, and we will see you. Everybody freeze.